What's happening with y'all? It's your host, Noah. I got my partner in here. I ain't seen him in a minute. His name is Jason. How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
How you been, bro?
I'm good. Been living life, Just working, taking care of these kids, trying to get past, all these incidents and stuff like that.
Incidents, okay. So, can you give me a theory of what you mean by incidents of what's going on? Like, I'm kind of curious.
All right. I was married, for 13 years and stuff. That ended real badly. Ended up getting shot in the process, and so it's been a rough ride, She ended up cheating on me, Like women say they got that woman's intuition, Like us dudes, we have that stuff too, Like when you feel it, you feel it. When you know, you know. You know what I mean?
How did you feel as a man being married to somebody, you said, what, 14 years? 13 years. 13 years. You how many kids you had with her? Like 1, 2?
I got 2 kids.
2 kids with this person. How do you feel as a man, with a person 13 years raising kids, and now it's all gone and ripped out from you? Like, do you feel any kind of way you feel stripped?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, that shit did knock me down. It had me out for a little bit. But, as I look at it, like, it's a blessing, everything happens for a reason. And all I can do is just rebuild from it, Make me a better person and get over my obstacles as a man.
So my question is on that is what tore it down? I'm very curious on that because that's a long time, 13 years, man. So it's like everybody goes to their ups and downs. You're going to have your biggest. I know when I was currently in those things, I would be having those issues too, but I want to understand what was the cause of all that.
I think a lot of it was I was working 2 jobs, trying to provide and let her stay at home. So I was never home. I worked from 6 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon on my first job, and then I'll be at my second job from like 4 in the afternoon till whenever I was just too tired to even work.
So as a man, you felt unappreciated?
Yeah,
okay.
You know what I mean? Because I would come home and I'm like, damn, you're pretty much in the same position I left you, laying around.
So was she cooking, cleaning? Was she doing anything like that?
Nah, man, like, she went in like a little depressed, like our nephew, got shot and killed. So she felt a little depressed and started drinking and stuff like that. So, as a man, I try to pick up all the slack around the house and help her get through what she was going through at the same time. I'm trying to get through it too,
That's understandable.
And take care of these kids at the same time, and So it did get tough for a minute, but I stuck through it, I finally got her out of that little groove.
At the end of the day, you feel like she still shouldn't have picked it up. That's what you're saying, really.
I mean, she should have, helped pick up the slack, you know what I mean? Like, I'm working 2 jobs, and you sitting on the couch all day. So then I gotta come home, when I'm not working 2 jobs and clean the house and stop in between, pick up my kids and drop them off at home, so.
Hey, it's very tough, man. I can't even sit here in front, even though I'm asking you these questions. It's just very hard for, I was going through those kind of obstacles too, trying to go back and forth, trying to take care of something and do something. So I can relate to that, man. But, how'd y'all break up?
Well, So I finally got her out working back, getting back to normal, after that little rough ride. And then, so she started working, and then she ended up working like 7 days a week. And I'm like, come on now. So I kind of felt something was going on. Like,
so you felt like she was like...
Yeah, like I would get off of work, and she was like, oh, I got to go to work.
So my question was like, we all, when you intimate with, like, the touch is different. Was like, she acting funny with her phone? Was she really not really communicating with you? Like, you felt like a whole different shift?
Like, we had no communication, We wouldn't see each other no more, and then when we try, it'd always end up being a fight.
Oh, so you think she was making up a fight? Or?
Yeah, a lot of times I felt like she would try to like pick a fight. You know what I mean? Like,
can you explain to me like what kind of excuses you felt she was throwing at you?
Like, you know what I mean, we don't ever do nothing. You know, we just sit at home. Like, well, of course. Like, what else we supposed to do? We work. I'm working 2 jobs. You working? I'm still trying to maintain a house. Like, my days off don't click with your days off. So how are we ever supposed to do anything? You know what I mean? You work nights, I work days.
Yeah, you can't really clash.
You know what I mean? Can't ever like just kind of sit down and have a conversation, because by the time she get home, I'll be sleeping because I got to get up at 5. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense.
So it was like we weren't there, and then when we try to finally have time, it would just end up being a fight, you know what I mean? Like an argument.
Okay.
Like, why are we even arguing? Like, this is the only time we have, but we sitting here arguing.
Okay, so was it anybody involved? Like any man involved? Did you catch anything? Like
I mean, I have my you know what I mean, suspicions and stuff, and then, you know, like I said something about one of her employees. Like, I went up there and he was kind of giving me like a dirty look type thing, you know what I mean? And I was like, why is your employee just mugging me? Like, I'll go fuck this dude up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he don't even know who he's fucking mugging type shit.
On some
like,
rah-rah shit, pretty much.
You know what I mean? And then she was like, nah, like, he wasn't mugging you. And then that's when I knew that's who she was fucking with, was because she started defending him. Quick style, you know what I mean? Like, now you picking this dude over me.
Yeah, because I feel, if I want to feel some kind of way, if somebody chooses somebody,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely.
So that's when I knew that's who she was fucking with at work.
So my deal is, all right, so you say defend, right, at work. So I'm trying to understand the defend part. So is it like more of like, say if I'm right here, right, with her, and me approaching this situation, she is more like backing you off, and it's more sticking this situation.
More like
more
basically like taking his side, you know what I mean? Because it never even got to that level to where I was trying to go fuck this dude up or anything, you know what I mean? It was more like she was taking his side. Like, she went in and asked him, and he said nah, and I was like, yeah, okay, I know what I seen. When somebody mugged me, I know, you know what I mean? I could see it in their eyes. So she went in and asked him, you know what I mean? And she came out and just like basically was like taking his side over what I was saying. Like, I've been with you 13 years and you can believe this dude over me. You know what I mean? So like defending him, you know what I mean?
Makes a lot of sense. I've been in those situations
like right then and there, like I already knew. You know what I mean? That feeling went through my body like, yeah, that's the dude she fucking with, you know, so.
So, all right, my question is to that too. How did it, I'm saying, we still trying to get to the bottom of that. How did you catch that deal to the final break? What was the last final deal to that?
All right, so me and her, you know, I mean, we quit talking, and all we did was arguing. So I started moving my stuff out. I started moving out, and then I went to, I took my kids out. She had to work, so me and my kids, you know, we went out, took them to Nickel play. We went to Denny's after, you know what I mean, ate, and I dropped them off. And I walked in, you know what I mean, and, you know, I had a couple drinks, you know, nothing to be like blacked out or, you know what I mean, I had a couple shooters, you know, while I was out. So when I dropped them off, I walk in the house, man, my TV's off, her and her son sitting on the couch, you know what I mean? And there's like a bunch of lights off, like they're basically almost sitting in the dark type shit. Right then and there, I should have been like, yo, I need to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But I had a point to prove. Like, yo, right,
so my question is,
on me.
So my question is, did you go in there with an argument? Did you find out where you was out? Like, did everything was still calm before you got to the house? Like,
no, I mean, we've been arguing for days. You know what I mean? Because I knew she was fucking around with some other dude.
So y'all was constantly bickering in the house over there?
So that's why I had already started moving out.
All right, that makes
more sense. You know what I mean? Like, my marriage is over, I'm moving out. But I still needed that final like proof, you know what I mean? Like, let me see your phone. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have that proof, you know what I mean? Because I already know what I feel, but I wanted that final proof.
And she wouldn't validate to give it to you.
Right. So like, you know what I mean? I walked in, and then, you know, I should have known something was off, because like TV's off, they're both sitting on the couch, her and her son. You know what I mean? All the lights are pretty much off in the house. Like, kind of feels like a little ambush, you know what I mean? But me, you know what I mean? I was like, well, I still need that validation. So, you know what I mean? We started arguing a little bit, because I was like, yo, I'll just sign my Jeep over. Because I had my Jeep in her name. I was like, just sign it over so I can, you know, move. And then, you know, still in the back of my head, I'm like, I need that validation. So I'm gonna try to get her phone.
So you were still trying to just say, fuck out, even though I'm moving out, even though I'm still about to finalize this divorce.
I still want that validation of, I want that proof of you cheating on me, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
what happened after that though?
So like shit a little escalate, you know what I mean? So we're arguing, and you know, her son getting in my face, so I'm yelling at him too, because at this point I'm mad. I'm like, yo, just sign my Jeep over and let me see your phone, and I'm gone.
So all right, so with the Jeep, were you trying to get it signed back over to you?
Yeah, because you know what I mean, I had it under her name.
Oh, so was you really?
It was my Jeep. I was the only one that ever drove it.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But I just had it under her name.
All right, that makes sense.
Just in case something happened to me, she was able to get the Jeep, you know what I mean, out of impound or whatever, you know, because my history, you know, ain't good out here in the ride.
Well, we'll talk about that.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's another story.
Before we get there.
But yeah, so you know what I mean? I wanted her to sign the Jeep over to me. Like, that's my Jeep. I'm the only one that drove it up. I'm the only one that works on it. That's my Jeep. Just sign it over to me. You know what I mean? It was like rightfully mine. Like, you got your car in the driveway. You know what I mean? So give me mine. I'm already moving my stuff out, but I still want that validation. You know.
So what happened after the
So like me and her's arguing, and we're arguing pretty bad. My son's sitting on the couch, my 9-year-old son. You know what I mean? And my daughter, my 11-year-old daughter, she in the room and downstairs. And her son, her oldest son, Jacob. You know what I mean? I raised that dude since he was 5. You know what I mean?
So how old is Jacob?
He's 7. He about to be 18 in December.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But yeah, he came up like the way my house was. So you can go down one set or you can go up. You know what I mean? And it was on both sides. So he came up the other side by the front door, and I'm standing in my living room. I got my garage door and stuff, you know. So I reached in to try to grab the phone to get my validation. And then I ended up getting shot.
So, wait a minute. So, what part of the house was you in? Was you downstairs, upstairs? Where's the gun pointed at?
The house is a tri-level. You know what I mean? Which is like, you got your living room and about half wall, and you got your, like, you know what I mean, you're upstairs, and then it's the same thing, you know what I mean?
Okay, so hold on. Before we get there, take a step back. So was you and her sitting right next to each other? So was y'all?
Nah, see, I wasn't even sitting.
I'm talking about, or was y'all both standing to each other?
She was sitting on the couch, and I was standing in front of her.
Oh, okay. And where's the son at the time? Was he near y'all, anything like that?
He was on the upstairs where the kitchen was.
Did you see him?
I mean, I seen him, but I didn't see him, you know what I mean? Because I started having a little tunnel vision on trying to get that phone for my validation.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And then,
so y'all was still arguing?
Yeah, we were still arguing. You know, so I reach in, try to grab the phone, and then I get shot. You know, so then, like...
So what happened when you got shot? Did like anybody try to help you? Anybody?
No, cause see, then like I went into, you know what I mean, flight or flight. You know what I mean. So I got the fuck up out of there.
You was just pretty much trying to help him get to the hospital?
Yeah, no, I didn't even go to the hospital. I went to my mom's house. You know what I mean? I was like, hey man, like if I go to the hospital, I'm going to jail type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you felt like you
Yeah,
you fucked up pretty much.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just
But you didn't feel like
instigating the whole argument and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
But you
That's
didn't
where I
think in
fucked
that
up.
moment of time, like you feel like you was gonna die, like you
Yeah.
just got hit. You didn't think about
You know what
going.
I
You
mean?
went straight to
so,
mom's house.
so I
You know what I'm
drove
saying?
10 minutes to mom's house, you know what I mean? I ended up, she called 911, and I ended up collapsing in their doorway. You know what I mean? I was in ICU for like 3 days. And then by the time I woke up, I'm chained up.
So, all right, you said your 9-year-old son was there. How would you feel as a father letting your son see you get shot? And how did you feel going in your home that it was you and your wife still, even though you're going through these issues, right?
Right.
How did you feel going to your home still getting shot by a kid that technically you see as your son? How did you feel as a man?
I mean, that pretty much like crushed me, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't, like, if it ended badly on like our divorce, like I would still be there, you know what I mean? Like I raised you since I was 5, or you were 5, you know, so I would still be there. But the way that things ended, this, like, I don't know if I can ever be there. Like, you guys done stripped me from everything. Like, I'm still trying to pick up pieces because literally I got everything took from me. You know what I mean? Right now I'm fighting to get my kids the way I'm getting them, the way I've been getting them, you know what I mean?
So what do you mean?
That's been a long process.
So what do you mean by fighting to get your kids? Like, are you going through any custody battles? Are you, is she just being spiteful of saying, hey, you can't get the kids? Like,
nah,
what
she
do you mean
ain't
on that?
being spiteful, you know what I mean? Not at least to my face, you know, but like, it's been a battle because, you know, social services got involved in everything, and trying to prove to them that I can be a good father for my kids. That's been the battle, you know what I mean? It's been one thing after another. And then, like, well, you know what I mean? I can't even say she ain't been spiteful, because there's been days where, like, she contacts, like, the caseworkers and says, oh, he's doing this with the kids, or he's doing that, like, for this incident. I took the kids to the Haunted Screams of Fields, you know what I mean? So we was out late. We got done with that. We went and got some ice cream after, on one of them late night ice cream spots. So my daughter has Live 360. So then she got on there and seen we was out until 1 in the morning, and then told the caseworkers and took a screenshot and sent it to the caseworkers of her location being out until 1 in the morning. So they tried to get me on that. You know what I mean?
You're just trying to do something pretty much positive for the kids.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They had a good week at school. So I was like, let's go do something fun. You know, you guys are getting good grades, you're doing good in school, let's go do something fun.
And it wasn't like you left them on their own. It's
no,
like
and then, you know what I mean, it was a Friday night on top of it. Like, they don't got school the next day, so.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Let's go do something fun. Like, hey, I'm not taking them out to, like, a house party.
Yeah, it'll make more sense. I'll be mad. I'll look at you kind of crazy if you let them go on their own.
Yeah,
but
but we're out there having fun, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, you know, they'd send me an email about it and all that, like, oh, you had the kids out till 1, that's breaking the parenting law, and, you know, the contract and this and that. I'm like, well, it was a Friday night, you know what I mean? We went and had a little bit of fun.
So my question is to you on that law deal, because I've been through a couple cases as well, but are you constantly doing it, or it just happened one time?
No, it just happened that night.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think they were even on the fall break at the time, too. So I'm like, really? You know what I mean? Like,
you just pretty much trying to be a father for your kids.
Yeah,
And that's just what I see.
If they're going to do their end and do good in the school and do what they're supposed to do, I should be able to do my end and treat them with a little bit of fun on the weekend, you know, loosen up. Like, come on now.
So what are the loops that you have to go through of this transaction right now?
Man, besides trying to pick up all the pieces and get my life back together, I gotta jump through like parenting classes and, you know what I mean, UAs and everything that they want me to do just to even be around my kids.
All right, question. You know, you say UAs. I'm not trying to be. I'm gonna still get more deeper, but how does it feel? What's the UAs for? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why they got UAs to go through this whole process?
Because they want me to stay clean and sober. Because you know, I had a couple shooters that night, so they think like I'm a big old drunk and I like do all kinds of drugs or something, you know what I mean? And
So it's just no more than that. It's just a couple shooters one night. So you pretty much what I'm hearing from you, you just every week or every now and then you get a couple drinks and that's just that. But they took that as you're overdoing something.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm too busy working. Like as of now, I'm working 2 jobs, you know what I mean? Like still trying to get my life and stack my money so I can get me a house again, and you know what I mean? Just try to build up what was taken from me. So, you know,
So-
I ain't got time to be out there partying, and you know, I'm out here trying to chase money and get back what was took.
So do you see any changes as far as like the way they're treating you as far as the kids now, or you still feel like you're still going through them same obstacle courses?
No, I mean like stuff's gotten better, you know. Like now I got the kids for half the week and she got them for half the week, you know what I mean? So they're definitely going in the upright position, you know. But it's still gonna be a battle, you know what I mean? You still gotta battle holidays and birthdays, you know what I mean? So like everything's gonna be a battle.
All right, so since you've been shot, you've been fighting with your kids and all that stuff, how do you feel now of the growth that you've been taking?
I mean, I think I've been doing pretty good, you know what I mean? Go to work, you know what I mean, take care of my kids, hit the gym, you know what I mean, just getting my mind and soul back right from everything that's happened. I mean, it's been a struggle, but hey, that gym, man, that's like...
That's your life and soul right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So, all right, I'm gonna get off that and I'm gonna ask you some other questions. So, like, what was your upbringing of your childhood? Like, what brought you to the man you are today?
Man, my childhood, that's been a lot of obstacles, you know what I mean? Because I was born in California. And since then, like, you know what I mean, it's been one obstacle after another. So, like, in a lot of the streets, I've been in the streets for a long time.
So my question is, like, was your father around? Like, was you always around your mom? You have your siblings?
I was raised by my mom. You know what I mean? My dad was always locked up in prison and stuff.
So did you ever get a chance to hang out with him or anything like that?
Nah, not too much. Not too much. And all the memories, you know what I mean? I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I had some good memories and stuff, but a lot of them, now that I look back, I'm like, dang, like I didn't realize the stuff that they were doing until I was old enough to realize what they were doing, you know what I mean? Like,
So-
back then, like when I was young, I didn't know, you know what I mean? But now.
So, you know, we ain't gonna put their business out there like that.
Right.
You know, we ain't no snitches. But you were seeing things transaction-wise that made
Oh,
you...
yeah, you
Okay.
know. It was like seeing everything from growing up and then to just wanting that money and being on these streets and hustling, like, you know what I mean? That's made me who I am today, but it's also made me, you know what I mean? Back then, I was wild. Now I'm more humble and I know how to enjoy life a lot more, you know what I mean?
So my deal is, you feel like, even though you had your mother, she couldn't really give you the full answers of the man because she wasn't a man, pretty much.
Right.
You was just trying to get the answers from the streets.
Yeah.
Did you get any answers from like your siblings, like your brother, your sister? Like, did you feel like they can help you with the outcome, or you just couldn't really get the answer from them either?
No, I couldn't get the answers. You know what I mean? I don't think I still got the answer till this day. You know what I mean? You're always looking for an answer that ain't never gonna be there. But
Okay.
you're still gonna look, you know what I mean?
I definitely
couldn't get
understand
the
that.
answers at home, so I hit the streets and picked up things, you know what I mean? Still ain't never got a full answer of what I'm searching for, you know?
So being in the streets, what did it feel like to you? Was it like home to you? Feel like more and more of like, you know how you go home with your parents and you accept you appreciate the meal, you see that they're trying, but when you was in the streets, how did it feel to you? Did you feel more tuned into the streets of being at home, or like, what was more?
No, I was definitely more in tune to being in the streets. Like, when I was at home, it was like, a safe haven, you know what I mean? But when I was in the streets, it was like home. You know what I mean?
I can get that.
Like, that's where I belonged, I felt. You know what I mean? Home is where I felt like I could be safe. But on the streets, it was more like I can be me. I ain't gotta, you know.
You can rip and run and
right.
not tell anybody what you're doing. Pretty much, you pretty much your own king. Nobody's running your castle. That makes sense.
I mean, like, this is me.
All right.
When I'm home, it's like when I went home, it was for rest. When I needed to rest, take a break. And that, I'd be out on the streets.
I did hear previously, you know, you have a couple cases. Have you ever experienced jail or anything like that? You know, have you ever just went through the tragics?
Oh yeah, I did. Besides like county time, all through my life, I did 6 years in prison. You know, and then I just, because of everything that had happened through my divorce, I did. You know, I just got out in April. Because I had to sit in there and fight the case to prove my innocence.
So how do you feel as a man being in there?
I mean, it's totally, it's a different life, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of politics in there, and you know what I mean? But it's, I don't know, like when I'm in there, I start getting too used to things, and I start running with it, and that becomes my life. You know what I mean?
So my deal is, if you were to see a kid or even an adult today, how would you explain to them of not trying to go that route, if you know what I'm saying, since you've been there?
I mean, it ain't no fun up in there. Like, you really have to be on your toes, you know what I mean? There ain't no getting fucked up and drinking. I mean, you can, but, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna be on your toes then.
So you pretty much constantly, you don't know who's coming in, who's coming out,
right.
who's a snitch.
You stay ready for battle, and you know what I mean? When you can go at any time, you can get with anybody at any time of day, you know what I mean? Just because somebody having a fucked up attitude or something and come at you wrong, and you having a fucked up attitude, and then you just go.
I have a question about jail. I heard this. So can it make you, you know, I love everybody. Doesn't matter what color you are, because that's just who I am. But I've heard in the past that it can make people racist. Like, you know, you go in there, you have a black pot, and you have to be with this black pot, or if you see a Mexican pot, you have to be with this Mexican pot, or a white pot. So did you have to go through them obstacle courses as well to fit in when you was going through that process?
I mean, you always end up, like, for some reason, you always end up sticking with your race when you get locked up. You know what I mean? You might know some people from some other race. You might sit there and chill and chop it up or whatever, but you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you end up riding with your race. You know what I mean?
To keep shit on a cool note. That makes sense.
But like, you can interact and all that, but like, if something popped off, you know, you might have to fight them. You know what I mean?
So
you just gotta be ready. Like, you can sit there and chop it up all day.
I'm gonna ask you this question because this is something that I ask a few people, and there'd be some crazy answers that I get. So, would you rather just live your life in that situation, or do you feel comfortable with the lifestyle you're living now, being now?
I mean, I get comfortable, a little too comfortable when I'm locked up, and then, like, if I'm out, like, I have to readjust, you know what I mean? Or like, say I'm out and I get locked up, I gotta readjust to that lifestyle, because there's two different lifestyles, you know what I mean? You can be in there and you gotta just readjust, you gotta stay on your toes. Out here, you can kind of relax a little bit and just do your job and go to work, you know what I mean? Have a certain little group around you.
So which one do you prefer, though?
Man, I prefer to stay out here. Like, I ain't trying to be locked up. You know, you can say that for the birds and stuff. Like, I'm good on that.
Okay, so not having your father around, what did it make you feel like? Did you see other people with their fathers? Did it make you feel any kind of way? Did you feel like stripped at times when you were going to like a friend's house? You see them with their dad, or you're riding down the street, or you see Father's Day and you can't celebrate it because you're not with your dad. How did you feel at those moments?
I mean, you feel bummed out, you know what I mean? Because you ain't got nobody, no father figure there for you. You know, but like, you don't really think about them, because especially like if you're out on the streets, you really don't think about those days. You know, you're just always out there doing whatever you're gonna do.
So not really having your father around, even though you love him, do you feel like that makes you the father that you are today?
Oh, definitely. You know what I mean? Because I got something to go off of. Like, I don't want to be like how I was, you know what I mean? So I want to be there, and I want to show them that there's a better way than the way I went. You know what I mean? That's why I'm always on about their grades and doing what they supposed to be doing.
All right, so my question is to you. I'm pretty much about to wrap it up. I got a few more, but the question is to you. You know, we see a lot of kids and young men, get drugs pushed to them. Do you feel like you can see your kids selling drugs the way you did? Would you rather show them a different route, or do you kind of want them to go that same path?
Oh, definitely not. I'd rather push them another way, you know what I mean, towards like sports and activities, and show them like, look, you ain't gotta do that. You just gotta be working. You gotta work hard. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can make it easy, but dude, you're gonna go to jail. You can go to prison. You're gonna miss out on all your life.
So you want them to do the
so
better route?
I want them to go the better route.
All right,
for sure.
I got one question and with another question. We're gonna go ahead and end this.
All right.
So it's a joking question. Have you ever had your license expired?
Man, they took my license before I even got it.
So
and then
what age was you?
All right, so
and how long? I want to know that too.
All right, so I was probably about like 13, 14, you know what I mean? I stole my mom's van, and then I ended up wrecking it, and then one of the homies, like the bigger homies' cars, and he didn't know who did it.
You just out there, right?
So he didn't know who did it and shit, because I couldn't get a hold of him, and
was you pretty old? My question was, you old or young?
I was like 13, 14.
Oh, so you started early.
Yeah, so like you know what I mean? I wasn't even towards the age of getting my license. But nah, they took it from me, and then I got it back when I was 21, and I had it for 6 months.
6 months, all right, so.
And then I got caught like street racing over there off of Sheridan in like 70, you know what I mean? So then.
Trying to be fast and furious, this motherfucker, all right.
So you know what I mean? I just got that motherfucker back.
Wait, so my question is, how old are you?
I'm 40.
40, so damn, 20 years?
Yeah.
God damn.
Driving, no license. And
hey kids, y'all hear this shit? Don't be like this, all right? So last question, so we can wrap this up, man. We're gonna hit the sports. Who's your team and who you think is gonna take it this year?
Oh man, you already know. I go for the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We've been looking pretty good. A little rough in the beginning.
Yeah, we have been pretty rough, man. Some of them games we lost, but I'm gonna go for 8-2 as well. I agree with you.
But nah, so if Denver keeps it up the way they've been keeping it up, you know what I mean?
You think we can take it?
I think we can be in the playoffs, and I think we have a real good chance of going this year.
I see Bo. Bo went there last year, second year.
Yeah, he just need to quit throwing them interceptions, though. You know what I mean? Last game, he had me worried against them Raiders, boy.
Yeah. But all right, people. We tune in to y'all soon. I'm glad y'all hit to the broadcast. This is my boy Jason.
Yo.
Get out y'all very soon. Nah,